Hello and welcome to the Spectrum Scientific's Telescope Buyer's Guide videos. These guides will help you, the first-time telescope buyer, make the proper choices in deciding what model telescope to purchase. Astronomy is a fun and exciting hobby that brings wonder to all ages. Telescopes have now become so affordable that almost anyone can get into the basics of the hobby without breaking the bank. The startup costs for astronomy are very reasonable, especially when compared to many other hobbies. Even better, a telescope, if properly cared for, can last a lifetime. There are not many things you can say that about these days. By choosing your telescope properly, you will ensure that your enthusiasm for astronomy will not wane. Make your decision about what telescope to buy carefully, but don't get too worried about making it perfect. You could upgrade to a different telescope in the future as your needs evolve. So let's talk telescopes. The first thing you need to know about telescopes, the more important than anything else, is the following rule. Aperture, or size of the telescope, is king. That means how big a mirror is or how big the lens is everything. Everything else, like how much does it magnify or how far can it see, is completely secondary to the size of the telescope's primary mirror or lens. As telescopes see, that is also not important. Why? Because different things in the night sky have different brightnesses. Take the Andromeda Galaxy. It is 2.5 million light years away from Earth, yet you can see it with an average-sized telescope. Now take the dwarf planet Pluto. It is only about 5 to 7 light minutes away from Earth. Yet it is so small and faint that it takes a large telescope just to find it. So for the most part, the larger the telescope, the better. Now I say for the most part because it is possible to have a telescope that is too large. Like everything else in the universe, as telescopes get larger, they get heavier and harder to move. This reflector telescope over here is fairly large, and if it got much larger, it would be very hard for you to move. If it is too hard for you to move, you might not want to use it for viewing very often. By comparison, this little telescope is small and portable. It won't give as good an image as the big telescope, but it can hold its own, and some folks might want to do more observing if all they have to do is pick this little guy up and carry it outside, whereas a huge telescope might never come out of the garage. Telescopes come in all shapes and sizes. Be sure you are comfortable with moving the telescope you are just thinking about. Also, make sure it's big enough that it would actually give you a decent image. Remember, aperture is king. See you in part 2.